Hello, and welcome to Baby Bedtime Stories, the best place for magical tales and soothing melodies. Close your eyes, relax, and let the adventure begin. Tonight, we journey deep into the heart of an enchanted bamboo forest, where a little panda named Bao Bao embarks on a path of wonder and wisdom. He has listened to the whispers of the trees, followed the glow of fireflies, and learned the secrets carried by the river's flow. But tonight feels different, as the sky glows in soft shades of pink and gold. A gentle breeze rustles through the bamboo, carrying a message only the forest can hear. Something important is about to happen. Will Bao Bao finally uncover the great secret of the forest? Will he find his place among the guardians? Snuggle in, let your heart open to the magic of the night, and join us as we step into the golden sun dipped below the hills, casting warm rays over Panda Valley. The lush bamboo groves sway gently in the evening breeze, filling the air with the soothing rustle of leaves. Bao Bao, a fluffy little panda, lay lazily on his back, munching on bamboo shoots. His round belly rose and fell as he chewed, enjoying the familiar taste. But tonight, something was different. As the sky darkened and the first stars began to twinkle, a faint glow flickered in the distance, deep within the bamboo forest. Bao Bao's small round ears perked up. He blinked, his black and white face filled with curiosity. Is the bamboo glowing? He whispered to himself, tilting his head. Bao Bao was an adventurous little panda. Though he loved his home, he always wondered if there was something more beyond the familiar hills and bamboo groves. He imagined grand adventures, hidden caves, magical rivers, maybe even talking trees. Tonight, his heart thumped with excitement. The glow in the forest pulled at him like a gentle call. What could it be? Fireflies, a secret lantern festival, or something magical? His paws twitched with anticipation, but before he could move, a soft, familiar voice interrupted his thoughts. "Bao Bao, it's time for bed," said Mama Panda, her voice warm and soothing. She approached, her large paws barely making a sound on the soft earth. "But Mama," Bao Bao said, his round eyes still fixed on the glowing forest. "The bamboo, it's glowing. Have you ever seen it do that before?" Mama Panda chuckled, nuzzling him gently. "The bamboo has always been here, my little one. The night is for resting." She patted his fluffy head and nudged him toward their cozy sleeping spot beneath a large tree. Bao Bao hesitated, but finally curled up beside her, feeling the warmth of her fur. His eyes grew heavy, but the glow still shimmered in the distance. As the night deepened, Panda Valley grew quiet. The stars twinkled above, casting a silver glow over the land. Mama Panda's gentle breathing told Bao Bao that she was fast asleep, but Bao Bao was still awake. His mind buzzed with curiosity. What if something magical is waiting for me? He thought. Carefully, he tiptoed away, his soft paws barely making a sound. He moved toward the glowing bamboo, heart racing with excitement. The air felt different, cool and filled with a quiet energy. Just as he reached the edge of the glowing bamboo, a soft rustling sound made him freeze. Was that the wind, or was something whispering? Bao Bao held his breath. The leaves swayed gently, their glow pulsing like tiny lanterns. Then, just as he was about to take another step, a calm, wise voice floated through the air. "Curious little one, you have found the path." Bao Bao's eyes widened. His fur tingled. Who said that? Was the forest talking to him? The night breeze whispered through the leaves, carrying a sense of mystery and wonder. The glow of the bamboo felt warm, not scary. Maybe tomorrow he would go a little further. Or maybe, just maybe, something would find him first. With a small yawn, Bao Bao turned back and curled up beside Mama Panda. His heart was filled with dreams of adventure, and the whispers of the forest followed him into sleep. The morning sun peeked through the leafy canopy, casting golden patterns on the forest floor. A warm breeze carried the scent of fresh bamboo, and tiny birds chirped their morning songs. Bao Bao stretched his round paws, blinking sleepily. As he yawned, memories of the night before rushed back to him. The glowing bamboo, the whispers, the mysterious voice. Did that really happen? He murmured, rubbing his eyes. Had he only imagined it, or was the bamboo truly calling to him? A curious excitement buzzed in his heart, like a firefly trapped in a jar. He had to find out more, but where should he start? Bao Bao sat under a swaying bamboo tree, tapping his paw against the ground. I should go back, he thought, but something about the glowing forest felt bigger than just an ordinary adventure. Maybe, just maybe, he needed advice first. Then he remembered Master Oji. Master Oji, the ancient turtle, lived by the river and was the wisest creature in the valley. Whenever the animals had questions, they would visit him, and he always had the perfect answer, though sometimes it took a while for him to say it. Excited, Bao Bao trotted down the winding path toward the riverbank. If anyone knew about the glowing bamboo, it would be Master Oji. The river sparkled under the morning light, its surface rippling like liquid silver. Beneath the shade of a large willow tree, Master Oji rested on a smooth rock, his eyes half closed, as if he were listening to the wind. Bao Bao approached quietly and sat beside him, waiting politely. The old turtle slowly opened one eye and smiled. "Ah, young Bao Bao," Master Oji said in his deep, slow voice. "What brings you to the river so early?" Bao Bao leaned forward. "Master Oji, have you ever seen bamboo that glows?" The turtle's other eye opened. He studied Bao Bao carefully before answering. "Ah, young one, you have seen the whispering bamboo." Bao Bao's fur tingled. "The whispering bamboo," Master Oji nodded. "Not many pandas notice it. It only reveals itself to those who are ready to listen." Bao Bao tilted his head. Listen to what? Master Oji's shell glistened in the sunlight as he shifted slightly. "The secrets of the forest," he said. "The whispers of time, the balance of life, the things that cannot be seen, only felt." Bao Bao's round ears twitched. He had never heard of such a thing before, but I only saw it glow. He admitted, "I didn't hear anything." Master Oji chuckled, his deep voice like a rolling river. "To truly hear, you must not just listen with your ears, but with your heart." Bao Bao blinked. "How do I do that?" "You will know," Master Oji said simply. "Return tonight, and instead of looking, listen." Bao Bao sat by the river, watching the ripples dance around the rocks. He had come here for answers, but instead, he had found a challenge. Listen with his heart. What did that mean? Yet, as he watched the water flow gently under the morning sun, a quiet excitement filled him. Not just curiosity, but purpose. That night, as the first stars twinkled in the sky, Bao Bao made his way back to the glowing bamboo, ready to listen. The night air was cool and crisp, carrying the scent of fresh bamboo. A soft mist clung to the ground as Bao Bao carefully padded through the forest, his heart thumping with quiet excitement. Ahead, the glowing bamboo shimmered like tiny lanterns in the darkness, just as it had the night before. But this time, Bao Bao wasn't here just to look. He was here to listen. He thought of Master Oji's words. To truly hear, you must not just listen with your ears, but with your heart. Taking a deep breath, Bao Bao settled himself among the glowing stalks, ears perked, eyes wide, waiting for something, anything, to happen. The forest was quiet, except for the rustling leaves in the gentle night breeze. Bao Bao strained to listen, but all he could hear was the soft chirping of distant crickets and the occasional hoot of an owl. He sighed, resting his chin on his paws. Maybe I imagined everything, he thought, but just as he was about to leave, a strange sound brushed against his ears. Not words, not a voice, but something deeper, something that seemed to hum in his very bones. Balance, protect, remember. Bao Bao's fur bristled. He sat up, his round ears twitching. Who's there? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The bamboo swayed as if answering. The glowing stalks pulsed slightly, casting a soft, golden light. Bao Bao felt it now. Not just a sound, but a presence. It was as if the entire forest was watching him with kind, ancient eyes. Bao Bao swallowed. His paws tingled against the cool earth. He closed his eyes and tried again. Not just with his ears, but with his heart. The whispers grew clearer, like wind brushing against his soul. They spoke of the forest, of rivers flowing, trees growing, animals living in harmony. They spoke of a balance that must be protected, a secret that only a guardian could truly understand. Bao Bao blinked. Guardian, but I'm just a little panda, he murmured. For a moment, the forest was still. Then the bamboo's glow grew slightly brighter, as if smiling. Even the smallest paws can leave great prints. Bao Bao's breath caught. The warmth of the glowing bamboo wrapped around him like an invisible hug. Maybe he didn't fully understand yet, but the forest had spoken to him, and somehow he knew this was just the beginning. The cool night breeze drifted through the trees, carrying the soft whispers away into the sky. Bao Bao yawned, stretching his tiny paws. His excitement had melted into something calmer, a quiet sense of belonging. Maybe tomorrow he would understand more. Maybe the whispers would become clearer. For now, he curled up beside the glowing bamboo, the light flickering softly around him. Above, the stars twinkled like tiny fireflies, and with a gentle sigh, Bao Bao drifted into the most peaceful sleep of his life. The first golden rays of sunlight peeked through the trees, stretching long fingers of light across the quiet forest. A soft breeze rustled through the leaves, gently waking the world. Bao Bao blinked sleepily, stretching his tiny paws. He yawned and rolled onto his back. feeling the warmth of the morning sun on his fur. Then he remembered the whispers, the glowing bamboo, the voice speaking to him. He sat up quickly, but now, in the bright daylight, everything looked normal. No glow, no whispers. The bamboo around him stood tall and still, just like any other morning. Had it all been a dream? Bao Bao's round ears twitched. No, it felt real. He knew what he had heard, what he had felt. The forest had spoken to him, but how could he prove it? Bao Bao stood up and began to explore the bamboo grove, sniffing the air, brushing his paws against the stalks. He was determined to find the truth, some clue that the whispers were real. As he searched, a familiar, slow-moving figure appeared from behind a cluster of trees. "Ah, young one," said Master Oji, his deep voice warm and steady. "You seem troubled." Bao Bao turned to the wise old turtle. "Master Oji, I heard something last night. The bamboo whispered to me, but now everything looks the same. Was it real, or was I just dreaming?" Master Oji chuckled softly, his wrinkled eyes twinkling. "Tell me, little one, did you listen with your heart?" Bao Bao thought for a moment. "I think so," he said hesitantly. "I tried." Master Oji nodded. "Then you are ready to take the next step." Bao Bao's ears perked up. The next step, Master Oji turned his gaze toward the bamboo grove. "If you truly wish to understand the secret of the forest, you must find the hidden path, a passage known only to those chosen by the whispering bamboo." Bao Bao tilted his head. A hidden path. He had lived in this forest his whole life, and he had never seen anything like that before. "How do I find it?" he asked eagerly. Master Oji's eyes sparkled with wisdom. "The forest will show you," he said, "but you must trust yourself." Bao Bao took a deep breath and began looking around carefully, paying attention to every sound, every rustling leaf, every shift in the wind. He stepped lightly through the grove, feeling the earth beneath his paws. Then he saw it, a small cluster of bamboo, bent in a perfect arch, forming what looked like a doorway. The space beyond it seemed darker, quieter than the rest of the forest. His breath caught in his throat. Was this the hidden path? Bao Bao hesitated. The path beyond the arch looked different, almost as if it belonged to another world. Should he go in? Master Oji stepped beside him and gently patted his paw. "Courage is not about being fearless, little one," he said. "It is about stepping forward, even when you don't have all the answers." Bao Bao took a deep breath. He felt nervous, but at the same time, something called to him from beyond the bamboo arch. Maybe this was why the forest had whispered to him. Maybe this was where he was meant to go. With one last glance at Master Oji, Bao Bao lifted a paw and stepped through. As soon as Bao Bao walked through the archway, a soft breeze wrapped around him, carrying the scent of something new. Flowers, maybe, or something even more magical. The trees here looked taller, their leaves shimmering faintly, as if glowing from within. The forest ahead felt different, more alive, as if it had been waiting for him. Bao Bao's heart fluttered with excitement. He had found the path. "Here we go," he whispered to himself, wonder bubbling inside him. The adventure was just beginning. Bao Bao stepped carefully through the archway of bent bamboo, his little paws brushing against the cool earth. The moment he crossed the threshold, everything felt different. The air was cooler, quieter, as if the forest itself was holding its breath. The warm golden sunlight from Panda Valley faded into a soft, emerald glow, filtering through the towering bamboo stalks. A strange energy filled the space. It was beautiful and mysterious. Bao Bao paused for a moment, taking it all in. He knew he had stepped into a special place. But why had the forest led him here? Taking a deep breath, he walked forward, trusting that the answers would come as Bao Bao moved deeper into the grove. The bamboo around him seemed even taller than before, their green stalks glowing faintly as if alive. A soft rustling filled the air, not just the sound of wind, but something more intentional, more knowing. Then, like a gentle breeze, carrying a secret, he heard it. The whispers, the guardians, awaken. Balance must be kept. Bao Bao's ears twitched. The guardians, he didn't understand, but something deep inside him told him to keep listening. The whispers seemed to guide him forward, leading him toward something or someone. Bao Bao's pause froze mid-step as he saw movement in the shadows. From the depths of the glowing forest, 3 majestic figures emerged, a red panda with fiery fur and sharp, intelligent eyes, an old owl perched on a twisted tree branch, his feathers a mix of silver and brown, a graceful deer, her coat shimmering like moonlight, her antlers adorned with tiny blossoms. They stepped into the clearing, their eyes watching Bao Bao closely, as if measuring his heart. Bao Bao gulped and quickly bowed politely, remembering what Master Oji had taught him about respect. The red panda stepped forward, her tail swishing behind her. You are the first panda to enter this place in many, many years, she said. Why have you come? Bao Bao hesitated, then spoke honestly. I don't fully know yet, but the forest whispered to me, and I want to understand. The old owl ruffled his feathers and let out a deep hoot, a seeker of wisdom. That is rare. The deer gazed at Bao Bao with soft, knowing eyes. Then you must prove that your heart is ready. Bao Bao's fur bristled slightly. Prove myself. How? The red panda, mating, smiled playfully. With patience, little one. Your first task is simple. Listen. Bao Bao blinked in surprise. Just listen. Yes, said the owl. Sun, his voice deep and wise. The forest speaks in many ways. If you wish to be part of its balance, you must hear what it truly needs. Bao Bao sat down, puzzled but willing. He closed his eyes and focused. At first, he only heard the usual sounds, the rustling leaves, the distant chirping of crickets, the soft whistle of the wind. But the longer he listened, the deeper the sounds became. He could hear the trees breathing, the earth humming softly, the river singing its quiet song. It was as if the entire forest had a heartbeat, steady and strong. His own heartbeat matched its rhythm. As Bao Bao listened, a peaceful feeling spread through him. He no longer felt like just a small panda. He felt connected to something much bigger. The guardians watched him with approval. He listens well, Mai Ling murmured. Xin gave a slow nod. The first step is always the hardest. The deer, Ding, stepped forward and lowered her head. Tomorrow, your journey continues, she said, her voice as soft as the wind. For now, rest, young one. Bao Bao lay down among the glowing bamboo, feeling safe warm, and ready for whatever came next. As the night wrapped around him like a soft blanket, he closed his eyes, feeling the heartbeat of the forest guiding him into sleep. Morning arrived gently in the hidden bamboo forest. Soft golden light filtered through the tall trees, casting playful patterns on the ground. The cool morning air carried the fresh scent of bamboo and morning dew. Bao Bao stretched his little paws and blinked sleepily. He had spent the night among the glowing bamboo, but as he awoke, he remembered where he was. This was no ordinary forest. Nearby, the guardians of the forest stood silently, their eyes watching him with calm, knowing expressions. Popo sat up, his heart thumping with excitement. He was eager to learn, eager to prove himself. But how? Before he could ask, the red panda, Mei-ling, stepped forward, her fluffy tail swaying behind her. She grinned. "Are you ready for your first challenge, little one?" she asked. Bao Bao gulped but nodded. "I think so." Mei-ling led Bao Bao through the forest, the other guardians following closely behind. The path was lined with lush ferns and winding tree roots, and the air smelled of moss and blooming flowers. After a short walk, the trees parted, revealing a crystal-clear river, its water sparkling in the morning sunlight like tiny diamonds. The gentle rush of water filled the air with a calming melody. Bao Bao stared in wonder. "Your first task," Mei-ling said, her voice light but firm, "is to cross the river." Bao Bao tilted his head. "That's it." The old owl, Sin, chuckled from his perch on a low-hanging branch. "A simple task, but not as easy as it seems." Bao Bao stepped closer. The river wasn't very wide, but its current moved swiftly. Scattered across the surface were a few smooth, round stones, half submerged in the water. They looked slippery and uneven. Bao Bao's ears twitched. He had never crossed a river like this before. Bao Bao took a deep breath and carefully placed one paw on the first stone. It wobbled slightly beneath him, and his fur bristled. The sound of rushing water filled his ears. He quickly pulled back, landing safely on the shore. Mei-ling smirked. Having second thoughts, Bao Bao frowned. "I don't want to fall in." Lin, the gentle deer, stepped forward. Her voice was soft, like the wind through the leaves. "And what if you do?" she asked. Bao Bao blinked. "Then I'll get wet." Lin smiled. "Yes, but that is not failure." Bao Bao looked down at the river again, his paws tingling with hesitation. He needed a new approach. Bao Bao sat quietly, watching the water. The river wasn't wild. It moved in patterns. The current flowed and shifted, pulsed and softened, like a living thing. He focused on the way the water danced around the stones, creating little ripples that showed him where to step and when to wait. "That's it. The river is showing me the way." Taking a deep breath, Bao Bao stepped onto the first stone again. But this time, he moved with the flow, not against it. He waited for the right moment, then stepped onto the next rock. Then the next, step by step, carefully, gently, and before he knew it, he had reached the other side. Bao Bao shook the water off his paws, feeling proud and strong. The guardians nodded approvingly. "Well done, little one," said Shen, the wise owl. "You listened to the river, and it guided you." Bao Bao's eyes widened. The river had spoken to him, not in words, but in movement. He grinned. Now he understood. the forest didn't just speak in whispers. It spoke in everything. As Bao Bao sat beneath the bamboo, feeling the warm sunlight on his fur, he wondered what lesson would come next. His journey was just beginning. The evening sky faded into a soft lavender hue as the sun dipped behind the bamboo trees. A warm breeze rustled through the leaves, carrying the fresh scent of the river in the forest beyond. Bao Bao sat quietly beside the water, his paws resting on the cool earth. The gentle sound of the river's current whispered through the air, but his mind was still buzzing from the lesson he had learned earlier. He had crossed the river, not with force, but by moving with its rhythm. It was a small victory, yet it felt important. The guardians stood nearby, their watchful eyes filled with quiet approval. As Bao Bao gazed at his reflection in the water, he wondered, what will the forest teach me next? Just then, something magical happened. Tiny golden lights began to flicker in the air around him. Fireflies, they blinked and twirled, their delicate wings glowing like tiny stars. Bao Bao gasped softly, his round eyes widening. Mei Ling, the red panda guardian, chuckled beside him. A beautiful sight, isn't it? She said. Bao Bao nodded in wonder. The fireflies moved in patterns, some blinking fast, some slow, but together they created a dance, lighting up the night in a way that felt almost alive. Watch them carefully, Mei Ling said. They are not just beautiful, little one. They hold a lesson for you. Shen, the old owl, fluffed his feathers and tilted his head. His golden eyes gleamed with curiosity. Tell me, Bao Bao, he said, why do fireflies glow? Bao Bao thought for a moment, watching the flickering lights swirl around him. They glow to help each other, he said hesitantly, so they can be seen in the dark. Han nodded. Yes, they do not fear the night, for their light guides them. Bao Bao watched as a tiny firefly blinked all alone. Then another joined in, and soon the darkness around them was filled with golden sparks. But they are so small, Bao Bao murmured, and yet their light is strong. Mei Ling giggled, nudging him with her fluffy tail. And so are you, little panda. Bao Bao paused, letting Mei Ling's words sink in. He had never thought of himself as strong before. He was just a small panda, trying to understand the forest's secrets. But now, as he watched the fireflies, he realized something. Even the smallest creatures have something valuable to share. Just like the fireflies glow to guide one another, Bao Bao had his own kind of light, his kindness, curiosity, and courage. Light is not always something we see. Eileen, the gentle deer, said softly. Sometimes it is something we feel, something we share with others. Bao Bao's heart filled with warmth. The fireflies continued their dance, filling the air with warmth and magic. Bao Bao closed his eyes for a moment, breathing in the peaceful night. He felt different, stronger, in a way he couldn't explain. He may be small, but his heart was bright. As the first stars began to twinkle in the sky, Bao Bao felt a deep sense of belonging to the forest, to the guardians, and to the great balance of nature. Tomorrow, there would be another lesson, another mystery to uncover. But for now, he curled up beneath the glowing bamboo, surrounded by the soft flickering of fireflies, and drifted into a peaceful, glowing sleep. The morning mist rolled gently through the bamboo forest, wrapping the trees in a cool, silver haze. The air was fresh with the scent of dew, and tiny droplets clung to the leaves, sparkling in the soft morning light. Bao Bao stretched his round little paws, letting out a long yawn. His mind was still filled with the memory of the fireflies' dance from the night before. Their tiny glowing lights had taught him something important. Even the smallest creatures have something valuable to share. Today, he knew another lesson awaited him. From a tree branch above, Mei Ling, the playful red panda guardian, stretched lazily, her fluffy tail swaying. "Time for your next challenge, little panda," she said with a mischievous grin. Bao Bao perked up, his confidence growing. He had learned so much already. Patience, trust, and the strength of his own inner light. He was ready. Mei Ling leaped down from the tree and padded forward, motioning for Bao Bao to follow. "This way," she said. The two walked through the forest, the golden morning light casting long shadows on the path ahead. Soon, the trees thinned, revealing something Bao Bao had never seen before. A tall, rocky mountain standing against the sky. The wind whispered through the cliffs, carrying a deep, steady hum that made the air feel alive. Bao Bao stared in awe. "We're climbing that," Mei Ling chuckled. "No climbing today, little one. Your challenge is much simpler." Bao Bao blinked. "What do I have to do?" Mei Ling's eyes twinkled. "Just shout your name as loud as you can." Bao Bao tilted his head. "That's it." Mei Ling nodded. "Go on." Bao Bao took a deep breath, filling his lungs with the cool mountain air. Then, with all his might, he shouted, "Biu, biu." The sound bounced off the cliffs, echoing through the valley. A second later, the mountain answered back, "Bao, Bao." Bao Bao's eyes widened. His name had come back to him. He spun to Mei Ling. Did the mountain just speak? Above them, Sun, the wise old owl, chuckled from his perch. "That is your echo, little one. The mountain does not speak first. It listens." Bao Bao's round ears twitched. "So, it only gives back what it hears." Lin, the gentle deer, nodded. "Yes, the mountain teaches us that our words and actions echo in the world. What we give is what we receive." Bao Bao fell silent, his heart swelling with understanding. Bao Bao thought about all the lessons he had learned. The flow of the river, the glow of the fireflies, the whispers of the bamboo. Everything in nature was connected, just like the mountain's echo. Kindness, courage, and wisdom, when shared, always return. If he gave kindness, the world would reflect kindness back. If he shared courage, others might find their own strength. And if he listened, the world would speak to him in ways he never imagined. A soft breeze stirred the trees, as if the mountain itself was nodding in agreement. Bao Bao smiled to himself, feeling a quiet peace settle in his heart. He turned back to the cliffs, took a deep breath, and whispered, "Thank you." A moment later, the mountain whispered back, "Thank you." Mei Ling's tail flicked playfully. "Well, look at that. The mountain likes you." Bao Bao chuckled, feeling warmth spread through him. He was beginning to understand his place in the great balance of the forest. As the sun dipped behind the peaks, casting long, golden shadows across the land, Bao Bao sat with the guardians, watching the sky turn to dusk. Tomorrow, another lesson would come, but for now, He simply listened to the wind, to the mountain, and to the quiet echo in his heart. The sky glowed in soft hues of pink and gold as the sun set over the bamboo forest. A gentle breeze carried the fresh scent of leaves, and the towering trees swayed, their rustling whispers filling the air like an ancient lullaby. Bao Bao walked carefully, following the guardians down a narrow path. The soft ground beneath his paws felt warm and familiar. Yet tonight, the forest seemed different, as if it had been waiting for this moment. His heart thumped softly in his chest. Something important was about to happen. The path led them deeper into the forest, where the bamboo grew taller and the air hummed with an invisible energy. Ahead, beneath the tallest, oldest bamboo, stood Master Oji, the wise turtle. His shell gleamed in the moonlight, and his ancient eyes twinkled as he watched Bao Bao approach. Mei Ling, Shen, and Lin stood beside him, their expressions filled with warmth and pride. Papa took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their gazes. He had journeyed far, learned so much, and now he was ready. Master Oji spoke, his voice as steady as the river. You have listened, you have learned, and you have grown. His eyes studied Bao Bao carefully. Now, tell me, what have you discovered? Bao Bao hesitated for just a moment, then closed his eyes, remembering all that had led him here. He thought about the river, which had taught him patience and trust, the fireflies, who had shown him that even the smallest light matters, the mountain's echo, which had revealed that what we give to the world always comes back to us. He lifted his head and whispered, "The forest is alive." Master Oji nodded. "It speaks through the water, the wind, the light." Bao Bao continued, "Everything is connected." Master Oji's eyes gleamed with wisdom. "And what does the forest ask of you?" Bao Bao stepped forward, placing his paw gently against the glowing bamboo. The whispers returned, wrapping around him like a soft embrace. But this time, he understood them. Protect, cherish, balance must be kept. Bao Bao's eyes widened. I am part of the balance, aren't I? The gentle deer smiled. "Yes, little one, as are we all." Bao Bao finally understood. He didn't need to be big or powerful to make a difference. Even the smallest actions, a kind word, a thoughtful heart, a moment of listening, helped maintain the balance of the world. Shen, the owl, ruffled his feathers. Every creature, every whisper of the wind, every drop of water is connected. Mei Ling grinned. "And now you have become a guardian in your own way." Bao Bao felt something bloom inside him. Something warm, something bright. He may not have planned for this journey, but now he felt a part of something greater than himself. The forest glowed softly, as if welcoming Bao Bao home. The stars twinkled above, their light reflecting in the gentle waves of the river. He took one last look at his new friends, the guardians, Master Oji, and the whispering forest. He was not just a little panda anymore. He was Bao Bao, a keeper of the forest's balance. With a contented sigh, he curled up beneath the ancient bamboo, the whispers of the forest singing him to sleep. Somewhere in the distance, the wind carried his name, like an echo, like a whisper, Bao Bao. And with that, he drifted into the most peaceful sleep of his life. And so, dear listener, Bao Bao's journey has come to an end, but his heart will always be part of the forest. Just like Bao Bao, you are part of something magical, too. Every kind word you speak, every gentle action you take, helps make the world a little brighter. Now, as you snuggle in, let the whispers of the forest lull you into dreams of adventure, kindness, and wonder. Sleep well, little dreamer. Until next time, good night.